Oh no. Stop. All right. Let's get this neuro party started. Inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling and inhaling and exhaling on my descending count of 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is me, the amazing Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. Good morning. And I am here today on behalf of the daughter of Leslie Darnell Thomas, the granddaughter of Arthur Jethro Evelyn II, and the great-granddaughter of Levi Thomas. Welcome to your morning mental workout. This live is sponsored by the elements H2O. And when I say drink water, you will reply with drink water too. Let's go ahead and get our first drinking water rep in for the day. Drink water. Okay. I know that I said on one of those lives yesterday, I believe it was this live, that we would not be reviewing doggone theories from my neuroscience classes because those theories were developed off of knowing that people had dysregulated brains, and then those neuroscientists developed these theories and said this is how people here behave. However, I do reserve the right to turn a previous no into a current yes, and within 6 hours, and maybe even before, I realized what was taking place. And so today we are going to be discussing social conformity theory versus real leadership. And here's why. Remember, I said I'm not going to keep doing this. This is the third round of students that get to this wall and stop. I couldn't put my finger on it. And all day on Sunday, I just kept saying, what is it? What is it? Why is it exactly the same? My insulin kept registering and saying, this is the same. This is the same. It's the same with your friends, the people you dated, your family. It's the same thing. And it hit me like a ton of bricks while I was taking one of my lessons in my neuroscience course. Social conformity theory. And that's why we are going to explore it today, because it is not just happening to me, it is happening to everybody. And that's why the TikTok live was different. That's why your Neuro Rep is already on TikTok, and it's a small 15-second video. Because of social conform theory, I get to change everything to match the theory of personal accountability, the principles of real leadership, and neuropability, because what was stopping me was social conformity theory. Good morning. That part. And it's stopping you too. Now, Jared, as a side note, you missed a very good live this morning, but have no fear, Dr. Donna is here. Even though it's not the Neuro Rep, I am going to publish the TikTok live. I had to shorten it, so it just got to the good part. Didn't need those instructions on it. So after this live, I'm going to upload it again. And it's going to explain a lot of things to you, sir, at the moment that you are in your life right now. So go back. I think it's 19 minutes. You just go back and watch it. And I believe that you will go, right? So Bridget, you were on the live this morning. What were your thoughts about the live this morning? I just want to know, not changing the format, just seeing what your brain did this morning to see if it did what I thought it was going to did. Did that? That part. And I think that's Monique, right? Mother of Travel Fairy. What happened, Monique? I think that's you. That part. So the format has changed on TikTok lives. Your Neuro Reps will not be the live anymore because of social conformity theory. Made me think a lot of what's going on in my brain. Then I did my part. It was effective. That was the whole purpose of it, was to get you thinking about your brain instead of paying attention to me talking about my shit. That part. So that is the objective of TikTok Live, because by level 3, if you walk yourself through level 1 and level 2, by level 3, you need to start thinking about what you're thinking about your everyday life. And then the Neuro Reps help you reconstruct your brain so that you can go from dysregulated to regulated, that you can go from a weak prefrontal cortex to a strong prefrontal cortex, so that when you make it over up and through here, you is ready for real leadership. Oh, I get it. I understand, Jared. You do have to take care of that. And it wouldn't have mattered because it was short. And they're going to be short on purpose because it's enough for you to start thinking about what you think about. That's the whole point. Good morning. So we are talking about social conformity theory. Okay, here's the everyday life scenario. As an adult knows that they could apply for a higher role, raise their rates, change routines, or speak honestly in a meeting, but they don't. Good morning, Monique. So an adult could get a higher role at the job. They could raise their rates as an independent contractor. They could change their routines on a daily basis or speak honestly in a meeting, but they don't. Why? 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 Because no one else here does that, Dr. Donna. I don't want to make it awkward. That's just how it's done. That's just how it's done. You know what? This is going to ring true. I don't want to stand out. I'm not going to do that because I don't want to stand out. And nobody said it explicitly. Nobody actually said that. And no one actually gives an order. But your behavior kind of just compresses downward to do what? Match the group. You said what now? To match the group. That's social conformity. It's quiet, it's daily, and it's extremely successful. That's why every time I got to the point where I'm saying, okay, it's time for you to up your level, everybody said, Dr. Donna, why you can't? I got messages. Maybe you should. Well, see, but did you? Well, but did they? But did they know that they would that? You said what now? Every time. My whole life. Every time. People wanted me to come back down where they was. Why? Because the social conformity theory. That part. Instinctively, my insulin, Miss Brenda Jones, was like, what the fuck is you doing? Why you over here with these regular people? We about to break out in hives. Regular? What the hell? I got called high maintenance because of my sheer utter refusal to go places in downtown Detroit without a valet. I was like, I got too much money on. I'm not going to be walking in the streets to a damn parking lot. So what if I'm packing? I don't want to have to use that threat situation. Well, you know, she can't go because they ain't got a valet. I'm like, these shoes cost too damn much money to be walking on concrete for 4 blocks. I'm not doing that. Social conformity. See, that's why you should buy cheaper shoes. Maybe you should go to better places. Social conformity theory. That part. I had a rule when I was a teenager. 5 girls in the car look bad. Don't call me if I'm going to be the 5th person. They would go somewhere, call me, and be like, what happened? Oh, you know, you can't be the 5th person. Okay, cool. Say less. I got it. Social conformity theory. Why you taking all the hard teachers? Because we got to go to college? Social conformity theory says stay. When it was time for me to get divorced, my friend said, you can stay. She had been married 7 years. I said, why? She said, why leave? I said, why stay? Social conformity theory. She's still married and fluffy and looking haggard and tired. I am not. Social conformity theory. Why you ain't eating pork no more? We eat pork. No, y'all eat pork. Social conformity theory. You don't drink. That's why you don't like to have a good time. I am a good time. Social conformity theory. Why you don't wear lace fronts? Why you don't get you a frontal? Because you could get you a frontal right now. I'm not gluing shit. I need to be able to come out of this motherfucking wig when a hot flash hit. Okay? I gotta be, I'm at tank top level. You know what I'm saying? I'm at appointments coming out of everything. I can't be having this glue thing when I'm ready for it to come off. I need it to be pullable at all times. Social conformity theory. That part. That part. We fighters in our family. No, I'm not. I'm a peacemaker. I'm not. I got a peacemaker, but I am a peacemaker too. Here we go. Social conformity theory. That part. So for all this time, for 12 years, I've been going back and forth, hesitating to quote you, Jared, hezzy on a post. Why? Social conformity theory says you can't do that. Dr. Donna, you can't be at networking meetings in 2015 talking about you got a digital business card. In 2015, you can't be on Snapchat as a business owner in 2014. What you mean? You're not going to meet in person with your clients. You're going to be on Zoom. In 2015, now where everybody at? On Zoom. Oh, I bet I was on Zoom when nobody knew what Zoom was. I was zooming. That part. What you mean you ain't going to be a speaker no more? How people going to hear your message? Social media. Social conformity theory. You can't have levels. You got to let them pick, and you got to get these prices. Where are your 3 packages at? I don't have one. What you mean? You're not going to be charging thousands and thousands of dollars. Do you know how much your content is worth? Social conformity theory. You got to put everything behind a paywall. You got to write your blogs like this. You can't put color in your blogs. Y'all go back to my blogs from way back in 2017. They don't look like nobody else's. My doggone, how you going to just start using Snapchat lenses? Ain't nobody going to take you seriously. Social conformity theory. You about to cuss online? You going to isolate people. Social conformity theory. That part. Why you ain't standing next to no bookcases? Ain't nobody going to know you smart. Social conformity theory. You get on the video, Nolan and I was trying to find something out on the video, and I watched the influencer, and I needed some Dramamine. That video has so much, start, describe, it's like, what? Where the message at? The first 3 minutes, and now we got a word from our sponsors. I was like, I just want to know this little bit of piece of information. Social conformity theory. That's why my thumbnails, I was using custom thumbnails way back a long time ago. And now everybody's thumbnail got it. And then you look at the video and the thumbnail don't look shit like the video. Where that at? That part never showed up. So the thumbnails are just customized thumbnails. That's a business model. So what's my thumbnails? The graphic that's behind me. That part. And it don't fit all the time correctly. I don't care. Social conformity theory. That whole thing. You're supposed to do it like this. You are a doctorate. You have a doctorate in education, and you supposed to look like this. You're supposed to sound like this. You're supposed to say this. Social conformity theory. You're supposed to get back out there and start dating again. Why? Just because. You're supposed to have nails. You're supposed to have some lashes and some eyebrows. And at your age, you need to start zit, because you on camera. Fix that chin and get them dimples. And that, they could really smooth out your neck if you do that. Or as small as you are, you should just put some pom-pom shorts on. I wore pom-pom shorts when they was called pom-pom shorts. I'm good. That part. So social conformity theory is my mama saying, you didn't cut everybody off. Or I got rid of all the toxicity in my life by changing my telephone number. Social conformity theory says you got to put up with all that nonsense and that bullshit so you can have some friends around you when you die. So you won't die alone, even though you might have lived your whole life alone. All right, so what's social conformity? That was my iteration. Let's see what the neuroscience version of it is. Social conformity is the brain's tendency to align thoughts, decisions, and behaviors with perceived group norms in order to maintain belonging, safety, and the best part, the nice little whipped cream on top, social acceptance. You said what? You want to be socially accepted. That part. Can't live in the hood talking about you ain't going to help hit no licks. You can't do that. What? You can't be like, yeah, I don't drink. You don't drink? The fuck wrong with you? You the ops? No, I so drink. Look at the family. Yeah, I don't know if I trust you. I don't trust you, so we good. Let's both walk on eggshells around each other. So neuroscientifically, this is what this means. The brain treats social rejection as a threat. What they gonna think? What they gonna say? They gonna do this if I don't do that. So social rejection is a threat. Every time I get ready to put a post up that don't match social conformity theory, I hesitate. I still put that motherfucker up there, but there is this, because I kept saying, what is this? So yesterday, when I demanded that y'all raise y'all standards for the third time, for the third iteration, my heart was like, I couldn't figure out. I was like, the fuck is this? What am I? I changed my diet. This can't be palpitations. It was social conformity theory. That part. You mean you're going to demand that your students rise to the level of their potential? Well, meet your potential is one of the 74 principles of world leadership. So set and maintain high standards and be the best and inspect what you expect and challenge yourself and take risks and finish what you start and quitters never win. Those are principles of real leadership. So I kind of got to do that. Hold yourself and others personally accountable is the number one principle of real leadership. And right now they're being unaccountable. So Captain Thomas got to show up. I was waiting for all y'all to not turn y'all shit in yesterday. I got to be honest. Why? Because it happened twice before. And it happened my whole life. Every time I raise the level to my friends, yeah, that part. And so what I discovered with my research with chat for myself is what I thought was happening with me going backwards. Yes, with me going backwards to them was I thought I was coming back to them at their level, showing them what they needed to do to come follow me at my level. And it never happened. So Miss Brenda Jones said, baby, pack your bags. You can't stay here with them. They regular. You know you allergic to regular folk. You know you can't do average, mundane, and regular. Okay? You ain't the median. You the standard by which excellence is measured. And so I left those friend groups. And I went to what I thought was a better friend group. I'm going to have corporate friends. I'm going to have sorors. I'm going to have commissioned officers. Same. Social conformity theory in full effect. And so I had to make a decision. Am I going to be by myself and be extraordinary, or am I going to be average with hives, standing there next to regular people doing regular, normal, everyday shit? And so I would leave. And now I know I got a name for it. So that's why TikTok Lives changed today. That's why I said, I could just give y'all the video and tell y'all what the Neuro Rep is and do something more extraordinary and have people on TikTok just listen to their brain, which is not social conformity theory. Because what you supposed to do on TikTok? Laugh, get mad. You got to take action. So you're just going to sit back and assess your brain? On what platform? TikTok. The fuck? How that's going to work? We going to find out. Because I'm not doing social conformity theory. And you always say, Dr. Donna, you never did it. But I still felt the pressure of not doing it. Because when you don't do social conformity theory, motherfuckers make you feel bad. High maintenance ass. You the smartest motherfucker you know. You think you know everything. There she go again, overachieving. You know she always doing something. She thinks she perfect. That part. Why they saying that? So you'll come back and be regular with them. So you can have social skills. So you can go ahead and have that social acceptance and be regular. That part. Jean Nadette started Weight Watchers, and her husband her original husband were foodies. And when she started Weight Watchers and she started to lose weight, guess who she also lost? Her chubby hubby husband. Because he didn't like her then. He told her, you changing. You're not the woman I married. Why you always talking about health and stuff? We love food. It's okay for us to eat food. So she got divorced because of social conformity theory. That part. So what happens is social conformity does not require agreement. It only requires And y'all know I love this word. Compliance. You said what? I'm going to whisper. Compliance is why it works. Compliance. That's all it requires. You can disagree on the inside and still conform behaviorally. You know, that's their policy. I don't really agree with it, but we need our job. You know, happy life, happy wife. Happy wife, happy life. You know, he get on my fucking nerves, but he pay all the bills. That part. Your insula and your ACC are like, what the fuck? But it just requires compliance. That's it. You just need to comply, conform. And that's why it's so powerful. That's why it's so powerful. We a sports family. Y'all a sports family. I'm not watching that dumb shit. That part. This is what we do. We all got high blood pressure. I don't. We all got high cholesterol. I don't. We all have an adversarial relationship with our children, our adult children. I don't. Social conformity theory. That part. Well, once you're going through menopause, you just got to let yourself go. Them just 7 years where you just going to look like you just don't give a fuck. I don't think so. Just dress in layers. Get rid of all the fucking stress and then you'll have less hot flashes. That part. So how y'all feel about that? Let's drink some water. How y'all feel about social conformity theory? So they researched this in the 60s, found out what it was, used it against you. And now you got the life you got. Because it's simply compliance. It's simply compliance. So that's why when Dr. Donna Captain Thomas showed up and demanded more from you, the lady on TikTok told me, you curse him. Yes, I am, motherfucker. The outrage. All of it. All of it is social conformity theory. That's why I was a business administration major in high school. Y'all saw the photos. I dressed like the teachers dressed and dressed better than most of the teachers. Sure did. Other than me putting my ROTC uniform on Wednesday. The whole go along and get along is just to fit in. It's draining. Yes, sir. That's why you need to watch today's TikTok live when I put it back up there. Just didn't have time to download it, cut it, upload it, and do all of that and still get back on here. That part. So all of that. So these trends, baby hair is back out again, edges, whatever the fuck they calling it, dreads, if you're young, beards now are out and about, sneakers and suits. I was doing that way before it was a thing. Going to my business meetings way back in 2016, 2015 with sneakers and suits on. That part. Those things. All of that. Going to everybody's house, there's a gray sectional. Everything's gray and white and tan if you're new to get in your house and everything. Everybody's got on, all the women have on leggings now. After you lose your, whatever the fuck they're calling it, as if they're pants. That part. Long ass nails back again. You saw my prom photo. I had them. That's nothing new. Although nobody had them back then. I had feathers and shit on mine. It sounds like a system to keep crabs in a barrel. It is compliant. It is compliant. And people do it automatically. Her ass. I used to get doggone flamed on because I was skinny. And, you know, in the 90s, just like the 70s, you needed to be thickalicious. I'm built like the man in my family, and I look like my father. So I have very long legs, very long arms, broad shoulders, apple bottom with no hips. That's me. And a flat stomach. That was not popular where I was from. Your skinny ass. We ain't gonna put some weight on. We ain't gonna put some weight on. We ain't gonna put some weight on. Then I put some weight on and I look like a fucking linebacker with a big ass neck and everything else. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. Basic training. Thomas, get your skinny ass over here. Gained 30 fucking pounds in 6 weeks. I was eating. I came back all swole, thick as shit. Got rid of that weight. Please call me an introvert because I just don't. Exactly. So if you felt like you were ever in a situation and you didn't want to do it and then you did it, you were compliant. Silence is compliance. Social conformity theory. That part. So I told y'all when I was dating, if I sat across the table from a gentleman and he said, you know what? I really like you in long hair. Guess what? He never saw me in again. Long hair. What happened to them long wigs? Yeah. Anyway, so that part. I really, that curly hair don't really work on you. Well, every time you see me, I'm going to have on curly hair. I'm not conforming to your anything. Not at all. I did that one time when I was engaged. My soon-to-be husband went through all my clothes and got rid of all my clothes that made me look anything like a human being. And then we went and got me long clothes that don't fit, all of that. Whole new church martyr wardrobe. And I got rid of all that shit when I got divorced. Social conformity theory. Yes, we did. Anything. And I like my skirt. I got long legs, so my skirts are short. My heels are high. Because he was 5'8.5", I started wearing little kitten heels. So no more platforms for me. There's not one photo where I'm taller than him on any of those photos. Not one photo. Not at all. That part. Yes. So, So 2.5 years, I was not myself. Social conformity. I was a church wife. Sister Thomas-Rodgers, Harvey's wife. That part. And my insula and ACC said, yeah, this ain't going to work. You got to get something going to have to give. So go away. I'll take all the debt. I'm taking the baby. Vamonos. Social conformity theory. So now that you know what it is, you can stop. Let me lead by example. That's why I stopped. And so it's still there because it's only been like 48 hours since I really assessed it for myself. But that hesitation that hezzy, to quote Jared, is social conformity theory. That's what it is, an automatic shut off. Because I said, what the fuck? Why? How? I've gotten rid of everybody in my life. Why is this still here? So here's how it shows up for me. Getting ready to make a post. And then I have to say the 7-day trial. Social conformity theory says, don't put that on there. Just let the video be that. Just let them watch the video. Why are you advertising that 7-day trial? You know that's hard. It's going to be a dropout rate. Why are you setting yourself up for failure? You already doing shit that's wrong. Why are you going to do that too? So now you're going to put this post up here. And then you're going to tell them in order to fist. Is it a somatic marker? No, it's not. Because it shows up everywhere. It's not one marker. Because it's telling you not to do the social thing, the socially acceptable thing. So the marker, you marked it, but the somatic, the social conformity, they marked it. So when Pervy Man tried to say something to me in Whole Foods, that was a marker that I marked, danger. So the somatic marker is telling you, ooh, don't do that. But this one was created for you. Compliance. Your markers aren't always compliance, and they're customized for you, but this is, everybody does it. And if you don't do it, then you get ostracized. If you don't do it, you get talked about. Nola saw it at her compliance. She saw it at her middle school. Kids in the magnet program, because it was a gang neighborhood. She watched them change and stop being nerds and get jumped into gangs and everything else for their own safety. And that was that part. And as we can see from way back in the 5th grade, I don't do well in social conformity theory. I'm looking like an aristocrat in the 4th grade. Y'all grew up in the hood in back in them days. You know what people look like. They did not look like that. And didn't nobody look like that on TV either. It wasn't like I was like, oh, I'm going to look like. No. Not at all. So that social conformity theory got everybody stuck. Conform. I am a fairer complexion African American woman that's kind of easy on the eye. I'm supposed to be somebody's arm piece walking in. And yes, my husband is Dr. A baller's wife or something. Yeah, so I just, I like being a stay-at-home mom. We raise our kids. We're empty nesters now. Oh, yes, they're at Harvard. Yeah, it's great. One is going to Oxford. We really, we knew early on. I ain't supposed to be, motherfucker, use your brain, bitch. No, social conformity theory. I'm thin enough. I could do it. I could have had a European, American husband, Italian, and all of that. All of it. Mediterranean, somebody. It wasn't like I didn't have offers. Right. That's what I was supposed to do. That part. I was supposed to be a lawyer. On my way to law school. I wasn't supposed to be an MP. Every time I tell people I was in the military and I showed them photos, they look at me like, why would you do that? What made you want to do that? Why? As an African American officer, I was supposed to be quartermaster, ordnance, or AG, combat service support. I wasn't supposed to be like, hey, where the fight at? Where the front line at? They that way? Where's the enemy? I'm going to get as close to that motherfucker as I possibly can. That wasn't how that was supposed to go. I wasn't supposed to be a Frito-Lay and say, put me in a warehouse. Put me in traffic. I'm going to go to sales ops. Social conformity theory said you stay in manufacturing. Now, you can go HR. You definitely could do safety. You could do HR, but you trying to go do European American mail shit over there. What you mean you going to run a traffic center? A zone? A wholesale zone? You mean you supposed to be in sales, not sales operations? Social conformity theory. I did. And I always got isolated for it. They always made sure it was harder, so I would stop. That part. And I didn't know why. And now I do. That's why the TikTok lives changed. That's why my YouTube channel don't look like anybody else's channel. That's why everything feels different, because I'm going with my gut. I'm going to do what my insula is telling me. I'm doing what Miss Brenda Jones and Vinny and doggone Miss Darlene decided to do. Because being over there is boring. I can't do it. I can't. I'm like, how the fuck y'all keep doing this? That's why I stopped celebrating holidays. I'm like, this menu is the same. The whole thing is the same. The dinner is at the same time. We open up the phone. I'm done. I ain't doing this shit no more. I ain't got no more holidays in me. Not these holidays. 365 days, I'm good. That part. Because I was like, you got to be missing your frontal lobe to keep doing the same shit. But even if it registers as I don't want to do it, social conformity theory says celebrate the holidays. Are you ready for some football? It's time to get ready to watch the Super Bowl and the college bowl games and the national championship and go roll right into the All-Star game and then March Madness. And then you got to watch the doggone draft. And then you watch some more basketball. And then you watch the next draft after the championship. You got to watch hockey and golf and all these things. Everybody has it. Rich folks got to go summer somewhere. One of these things is not like the other. We got to put it back in its place. That's correct. So here we go. Social conformity versus real leadership. Because I got a theory. I ain't over here just making sure I'm talking shit. That's what makes me not a thought leader and a podcaster. That part. So social conformity optimizes for belonging. We belong together. We belong together. Just you, just me, a world to see. We belong together. Right. Remember that from the Cosby Show? 'Cause you came into my life. That part. And made it sweet and so complete. Whose marriage is that? Okay. Use external reference points. Always some external shit. Bridget, you said it. Keeping up with the Joneses. Got to put our kids in private school. And not just any private school, the private school, to set them up for success in life. It avoids friction. Jared, you said it. Go along and get along. Status quo. There you go. It reduces deviation. It's no standard deviation. You can ensure that somebody who is 6'7", ready to play basketball or football is going, hey, you play basketball, you play football, come on. And that path is already given to you. They start doing it in the 7th grade when you get your new brain. Test scores, Lexis. You stupid. You need to go ahead and go in the workforce. You ain't going to college. You kind of smart, but you're not smart enough to manage people. You're going to be in trade. And then, oh, you so smart. You going to college so you can manage people. And then for the few small select group, you a genius. You should be an entrepreneur. Fuck college. Here's a bunch of money. Go start a business. You pretty. So you just be pretty. Just marry well. Just do that. That part. So no deviation from the course. It preserves group comfort. Everybody knows who everybody is in the group. Entourage, perfect example of that. Everybody has to have a turtle. That part. And it keeps the standards static or lowered. And that's why you got Captain Thomas version of me. The fuck are you doing with these low standards? Is too close to no standards. It's too close. And that's why all of you were like, hell yeah, nobody told me I could be my best. Didn't nobody raise the standards for me? Why not? Because you was already in your group. And your group ain't supposed to have high standards. Your group ain't supposed to. I worked at the movie theater. I ironed my work pants. For Nola, I got creases sharp as shit in them doggone cargo pants from Old Navy. Sure do. Sure do, because I got standards. I'm going to have a neat, groomed appearance. Even if I'm building shit out in 120-degree, standing out in 120-degree weather. That part. I'm going to sweat and look neat and groomed. I'm going to be cold, but I'm going to be neat and groomed. So you keep your standards static or lowered. So if yesterday or the day before you were wondering why your standards were right here or here, and that's what it happens. Your standards are low, you come across me, you get to a static standard. And then I think, oh, we're getting ready to raise the standards. And you start saying, no, we good, Doc. We good. Why? Because social conformity theory says I'm this group. I stay right here. Know your role, slow your roll. That part. But what does real leadership say? Jared, I'm glad you asked. Optimizing for integrity and execution. I definitely lower my effort to not stand out. I see. So you're dimming your light so you won't shine bright. Real leadership uses internal standards. I am the standard by which excellence is measured. Me and my effort. So when I told y'all 2 levels up, I upped my ante. I upped my ante and said TikTok format needs to change. That's why you're frustrated. Yes, sir. Social conformity theory. Now you know why you ain't got to fucking stay that way. You said you speaking about my wife. I hoped and waited for her to come to my level, as in seeing she was able to be there. In fact, she just sabotaging the entire relationship. I think you better let it go. Let it go. I had to leave my spouse for this very reason. Okay. So guess what real leaders do? Tolerate friction and ridicule. For 2 years, I didn't even have my comments open on TikTok. People were like, we can't comment. They wasn't saying it, but I'll be on live. When you gonna turn your comments on? February 37th, 20,097. 2 years. You motherfuckers ain't gonna be trolling my comments. I would say, they still like, why we can't say this video? Because it's my video. And people be like, oh, all you gotta do is go to block. You're not gonna be giving no instructions to steal my shit. Not 2 whole years. Then I turned them on. Everybody was happy. And then they forgot that they was ever off. And now people don't say shit. Go look at my posts. I got viral posts on Instagram. I went through every last one of them and deleted all the shit, or went and played the dozens with a couple of them motherfuckers just so they'll know, don't fuck with me. But no, we're not doing that. I got over 3,000 people blocked on Instagram. Social conformity theory says you need those comments. No, I don't. I don't need nobody coming in attacking my shit. For what? A bag? No. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. Now people know, ooh, tread lightly. She gonna block you. Y'all done been on lives. People like, you blocked my friend on Instagram. I did. Talk shit over here, you're gonna get blocked too. Jared was in the blockosphere. That goes against social conformity theory. That's why I posted the block number on Instagram. I tell people all the time, I'm not a DB, but I will block thee. Don't fuck with me. You will find out. You can only block 3,198 people on Instagram. They will not let you get to 3,200. I think they thought nobody would block 3,200 people. You can only block 1,000 people in one day. I know because I did it. They won't let you block them. The block, bitch, block. That part right there, Jared found out. He's like, she don't give a fuck who you are. Just because you paid don't mean you get to stay. That's why the fees is so low. Because I ain't going to be questioning. Damn, I need them to help pay my bills. Fuck you. $9.99 ain't going to make that's a green drink at Whole Foods. That's what that is. You can take your money. You ain't staying. Social conformity theory. That part. Yes, ma'am. So we don't avoid friction. We like friction. Come on in. You want some water? Have a seat. Because you're going to be here. You're going to be my battle buddy. And it allows for temporary isolation. I spent 8.5 years on Instagram before I went viral because of my sheer utter refusal to do dumbass photos. Ain't no mukbangs on my YouTube channel. I'm not doing that shit. Fuck it, I'll wait. I'm patient. I'm a tourist. I got time today. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not sacrificing. I'm not entering into no fucking Faustian bargains for social conformity theory. 2018, when I started making my own content, I said I gotta curse. I gotta be me. Because ain't nobody, I'm going to try to be me 2 years from now. And then we got 2 years worth of me not being me. So fuck that. Okay. I'm not going to have that conversation with you, Foundry Wildlife. And I said what I said. We're not about to do that. Okay. You can stay and you can listen. You can do what you want to do. What I will say is right now you're experiencing cognitive dissonance. That's what you are experiencing. Okay? That part right there. That's you knew who you married. Don't try to act like you didn't know. Because right before y'all got married, your insula said don't marry her. You just didn't listen. You got a warning before you married her. So don't act all brand new because she is who she was when there were signs when y'all were dating. And you ignored all those warning signs because you wanted to be married. So you said, fuck that. She'll grow, she'll learn, she'll change. She the same person that you married. You just ain't the same person that she married. Or you did social conformity theory to get married. And now, just like I thought, you thought she was going to grow. She is quite content with social conformity theory. That part. So you got to make a decision. Either you going to conform or you're going to be discomforted. That choice is yours. You're a grown ass person. Don't do that. I had to walk away. I had to sell my house and get out of $19,000 worth of credit card debt and have a repossessed S-Class Benz on my credit for 7 years to get the fuck away from that motherfucker. So I'm speaking from experience. That part. And he was only paying $50 of child support. My daughter, 23, she on the live right now that he never paid. So if you ready to fucking go and you want some friction, leave. Or conform. But complain, that shit don't work over here. At all. Either you gonna shut the fuck up and stay, or you gonna pack your shit and go and deal with the repercussions and the fallout after. Because you could leave. You the one upset. You the one don't want to be there. So you need to pack your bags and go. That's what. Don't fucking complain. If you about that life, go leave. If you really tired and sick and tired, go find a lawyer and end it. Because she not changing. And you either gonna shut the fuck up and stay and conform and comply, or you gonna say goodbye. Those your options. Those the only two options. Divide that shit down the middle and call it a day. Kids from divorced parents, if you think the kids don't know what the fuck is going on, you crazy as hell. We just had a client, Nola. The kid knew. It was like you should have been left. The kids don't know why y'all still together. Y'all ain't fooling no fucking body. Everybody saying y'all don't belong together. Y'all don't belong together. Leave. Temporary isolation. You got to raise your standards. Raise your standards. It is not a cultural fit. Go. You're going to be better off. And so is she. She can find somebody that's in social conformity theory. So the key distinction is you can land hard. Oh, wait. Here's the key distinction. Social conformity keeps the group emotionally comfortable. That's where everybody is. 5.9 billion people are emotionally comfortable. Real leadership keeps the system functional and evolving. Y'all been around long enough to see that I keep evolving. And it's kind of like, well, dang, every time I turn around, she changes. So is life. So are you one day closer to death every day that you wake up. That part. The seasons change. Why can't we? The seasons change 4 times a year. You changing once a fucking lifetime. That don't match. You was growing and then you stopped. Why? Social conformity theory. That part. So real leaders don't rebel. We basically regulate instead of socially. We self-regulate instead of this social regulation. I can't do that. That don't make no sense. I know how to have a good time. Have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, but I will not have this controlled, contrived ass fun. People all the time, because Nola and I are teetotalers and we don't drink, we end up interacting with them. And they was like, oh my God, that was so fun. That was such a good time. They'd be telling people, we talked about how much fun we had. And me and Nola looking at them like, the fuck is they talking about? But if you got social conformity theory, that's what the hell you doing. Conforming. Now drink water while you get your Neuro Rep for today. So here's your assignment for today. You're going to break one silent conformity loop. The assignment today is that you're going to identify one behavior where you would normally match the group, where you would normally stay quiet, where you would normally delay or soften your standards. That's what y'all been asking me to do. And by y'all, I mean everybody that ever came in contact with me in my life. Soften my standards and do the aligned action without explanation. Foundry Wildlife, if you still on here, I might would have not said what I said. And I might would have not told you, shut up. Be quiet. Because of social conformity theory. But I don't give a fuck no more. Some of you say I said the same thing. Lola said, Dr. Donna, when you were speaking about raising your standards and start talking some neuroscience classes, I thought I wasn't going to be able to keep up. Back raising your standards helped me raise mine. Thank you for that, Lola. That part. Because I have been told over and over again, your standards are too high. You asking too much for people. You get, motherfucker, fuck you and your social conformity theory. You ain't asking enough of yourself. And you know why, Lola? And thank you for that. Because everybody got 86 billion neurons. So this is some bullshit. Because everybody got 86 billion neurons. Everybody got a fucking hippocampus and a dentate gyrus. Neuroplasticity works in everybody's brain. So this is some bullshit. And some nonsense. And some malarkey. That's why. Nobody asked you to raise your standards, which is why you haven't, because social conformity theory says either low standards or standard. That's it. Not high standards. They won't even let NFL players play both sides of the ball. That's social conformity theory. Why? Because coaches can't coach players that play both sides of the ball. That's why they can't do it. Because these raggedy ass coaches ain't raising their standards. Yes, my standards were mid before I met Dr. Donna. That's why the TikTok live has to, and Nola said, I said, yeah, so I'm raising my standards 2 levels up because I told y'all to go 2 levels up. She made a face. And she said, basically, your standards is higher than high. They're already in the galaxy. Where the fuck is you going? I'm like, no, I told y'all to go 2 levels up. I need to go 2 levels up. I need to be on TikTok doing not TikTok shit live because of social conformity theory. That part. Okay? So you are not going to justify, over-explain, seek permission, and announce your growth. You just gonna act. That's it. I have changed my standards in who I call a friend. And both of y'all, you a boomer X, Bridget, and Lola is a boomer. So they lying about the boomers. Said y'all can't change. Lola, y'all can't use technology. Y'all stuck in y'all ways. Y'all can't learn, grow, and develop because y'all boomers. Bullshit. I understand all of the words in this definition. There you go. You didn't taught yourself how to read. Why? Because you didn't do social conformity theory? Because can makes the impossible possible. Thank you. One of the 74 principles of real leadership. There you go. Okay, so here are some examples that you can use for your Neuro Rep today. You can speak clearly instead of cushioning it. Use tact and treat people with dignity and respect, because those are both principles of real leadership. But you can, it's a no for me. Hold a boundary without an apology. I'm sorry, but I don't drink. I don't drink. Done. Execute the plan you keep postponing. I keep postponing saying it's real leadership, bitch. That's it. That part. I keep going social conformity theory. Well, if you want to do it the dysregulated, dysfunctional way, here's the solution. No, it's one way, the real leader way, the non-social conformity theory way, the theory of personal accountability, the neuropability, the 74 principles of real leadership work. So why am I not saying that to everybody? Well, you could handle conflict when it occurs, because that's one of the 74 principles of real leadership. If you don't know, ask. That's one of the 74 principles. So just like Malcolm X used to say, because of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, got it. That part. That part. Because of the principles of real leadership, because people don't think I'm doing this on purpose. They don't think that I'm strategic about my shit because you can't really see it. So social conformity theory just says you're doing it wrong. Dr. Donna, no, y'all doing it wrong. Because you don't know how your brain functions. You don't know that the theory was created to stop your dumb ass long before you was even a twinkle in your mama or your daddy's eye. Got it. That part. So maintain your peace while others slow theirs. Yes. That part. So I got peace that surpasses all understanding. You know what I don't have? I don't have group chats. I don't have nobody calling me. I don't have nobody asking, can they come stay for a while? I don't have none of that. I don't have no man telling me, see what your problem is. You think you the smartest motherfucker you know. I am. I'm the smartest motherfucker you know for sure. That part. And when you're done, you're going to come back and you're going to say what you did. This is what I did. Fuck social conformity bias. That part. Now, the brain regions that you're going to use today are the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex. That's Miss Darlene. You're going to use the ACC, Miss Brenda Jones. You're going to use the insula and the basal ganglia to do this rep. That part. Now, here is the part that I did that I ain't never did before. But I'm me and fuck social conformity theory. This is my 2 levels up, which I'm going to do every time I bring up some neuroscience shit going forward. I'm going to do what I'm about to do right now. Now, I have not ever done this before because of social conformity theory, because the QEs, because the PhDs, and I got a little old EDD, always made it seem like they was fucking smarter than me, and that they do have higher IQs than me, and they were right, and I didn't know, but I found that certificate that I was a science Olympiad way back in 1987. I was one of them kids that was on their way to STEM, but my brain project was too much for them. Because of social conformity theory, they was like, why she got a brain? And because they didn't understand it, they didn't support it. Because it wasn't a robot. Because it wasn't code. Because it wasn't a fucking volcano. They didn't know what to fucking do with this little girl standing here with this 3-dimensional color-coded brain, cauliflower. So social conformity theory said, don't support that. Don't encourage that. Stupid ass motherfuckers, we could have been had a solution for this. Imagine. So they said, this is genius. Let's work on this. Sean, the science kid, 10 years old. Everybody's like, this is great. This is great. Why? Because of social conformity theory. He looks the part. He sounds the part. He's doing everything. He's got his little lab coat on. We're going to support him. But 13-year-old me with a brain, no. We don't understand this. You can have an honorable mention ribbon because their insula registered that this is something, but they couldn't grow because of social conformity theory. Little girls, little black girls from Detroit, we're not about to encourage that in 1987. I'm not gonna get no wild ideas about that. 9 to 5 had only been out for fucking 7 years, and they was just trying to be administrators in the doggone office. We can't have you in the lab, little girl. No. Social conformity theory. But bitch, I'm back and better. And I just went and did this work without y'all. I just said, okay, cool. Nope. Let me go ahead and figure out what makes people extraordinary. Because this is some ordinary shit. So saying that, here's what I asked Chat. I said, Chat, watch this. Go ahead, Lola. Have a good day. Watch this. Let's go ahead and start putting these theories up against mine. Because my nuts dropped. Let's go ahead and do that. chat. So here we go. The top principles that directly, right, counter social conformity. So guess what I told chat to do? Since I'm not conforming no more. Chat, go to my website, look at the 74 principles of real leadership, and go pick all of the ones that counter social conformity theory. That part. Give me 1 second. Okay. So chat went down in order and did this. So under the realistic section, chat said develops internal guidance versus external conformity. So the two principles that you can use to combat under realistic social conformity is this. Let me see who about to get their asses handed to them. I sure did, Bridget. Big old kahunas. Gotta have a lot of testosterone. See, the problem is I'm losing all my estrogen, thank you, perimenopause. And so, nope, Jared, this is what take risk is one of the ones that chat said. Chat said, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. So if you believe in yourself, guess what you're not doing? You don't need social acceptance. That's what I've been doing my whole life. You don't need social acceptance if you believe in yourself and take risks. So believing in yourself is foundational to resisting group pressure. And if you have to go, you have to go. But I'm putting this shit on record today. I need some receipts. So foundationally, you can resist the group because you believe in yourself. So what does that say? The whole time, my whole life, fuck y'all, I don't care. I believe in me. I know this shit gonna work. I'm good. Solo dolo. And take risk. Breaking away from just how we do things here. It's wrong. It don't work. Every time I'm at a job or something, I'm like, this shit don't work. I ain't doing. All right, Beth. Let me go. I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm gonna just go make it work, and then I'll come back. Cause right now this ain't gonna work. That's why I took all the shit show jobs and assignments. Cause wasn't nobody thinking I was gonna be successful anyway. Fuck it. You don't want to go to second shift warehouse? I'll go. Traffic center doing bad is 29 out of 29 in the company. I'll go. Go to Sterling Heights. I'll go. Because y'all think I'm gonna fucking fail. So you ain't gonna tell me what works and doesn't work because you don't fucking know, because social conformity theory made it so you couldn't fix that shit show of a situation. I got it. Didn't want to start a Toastmasters club at the Urban Chamber because it was on the west side of town. Fuck it, I'll charter it by myself. One of the best fucking clubs in District 111. Because they weren't there to tell me, well, when you charter a club, you got to do this. And you change. They didn't do it. Next thing they know, 2 years later, President's Distinguished. You'll find out what that is, Jared and Stacey, if you won't hear. Select Distinguished coming out the gates. We missed being President's Distinguished by one person getting one speech on the wrong day. Second year club, President's Distinguished. That's the highest recognition that you can get in Toastmaster within 2 years of a club getting chartered. I'm like that. Believe in yourself and stand on it. That's right. Now, you go to the effective section, and this counters passive adherence to group norms. That's what that effective section does. That's the E in real leader. Set and maintain high standards. You said, what, Doc? If you set and maintain high standards, guess what you ain't gonna fucking do? Conform to social norms. You lead based on standards and not comfort. It was uncomfortable listening to me for those 2 days, but you got a new neurological shift. Wait for it. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Chat picked this. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. Actively shaping the environment instead of reflecting the group. Handle conflict when it occurs. You're going to have some conflict when you go against these conformed people. So face discomfort instead of defaulting into conformity. And this last one that I sometimes forget about, go for the gold. Pure excellence, even if others settle. You never hear somebody going to the Olympics. Yeah, I'm just going to get the bronze. That's all I'm doing. I'm just going to get the bronze and get on back home. It's okay if I come in 8th because just being there is enough. No, the fuck is not. Yes, don't say pushing, Jared. Rewrite that. Challenging. Toastmasters is challenging you to move out of your comfort zone. Delete that and retype that. Authentic is the next one. Direct antidote to conformity behavior. Authentic. That A. Authentic. Be honest. Can't make this up. Chat pulled it. I just put it on the doggone website. Be honest. So the truth overrides silent compliance. I'm too honest to be conforming. I ain't gonna do it. I'm like, fuck it. My mama gonna die with the lie. I'm not. I said goodbye. Keep your word. Clutch your real leader pearls. Forces alignment with internal values over external pressure. Keeping your word goes against this. Keeping your word. I don't drink. But you can just have a little. Ain't nobody here but us. I said I don't fucking drink. No. Be fair and consistent. Guess who's inconsistent? Refuse to shift your standards to match social comfort. I'm going to iron my work pants for my daughter's business. I'm going to take the bottom of my shoe and get styrofoam, rocks, tape, and everything out because that's what I do. Toastmasters is challenging me to step out of my comfort zone. And you feel different by saying that. Word choice matters. Look people in the eye when you talk to them. It dismantles hidden social avoidance. When you look people in the eye and talk to them, they're going to have to tell the truth. Point blank, period. All right. Leader led. This is the key to breaking away from passive conformity. Lead by example. Leadership starts with acting despite discomfort. That part. Visualize your goals. Didn't I tell y'all don't do anything without a why and a strategy? Because when you got a why and a strategy, guess what you're not going to do? Stray from your why and your strategy. So it anchors your behavior in an internal direction, not the group norm. Everybody was using Cliff Notes. I took Miss Gates on purpose because she was the only English teacher that got Cliff Notes and never asked you a question out of the Cliff Notes on the test. That's what I did. Everybody's like, why are you taking Miss Gates again? Why are you taking Miss McClanahan? That's her sister. They both teach the same way. You keep taking Dr. Gibson. That part. So that's part of the reason why my GPA was lower than everybody else's, because I wasn't cheating. That was a real 3.02. It was real. That's why they call me Dr. Donna now. So despite it, and you're going to visualize your goals. That part. Not the group norm. The people that my friends from high school didn't have a crazy ass mama saying go to college. And when I got ready to go, she said, you better be home in 4 years. Because I know college take 4 years, 5 years, unless you're if you're an engineer. Their parents didn't tell them that. That's why they didn't fucking finish. Hold yourself and others personally accountable. Responsibility beats compliance. You're going to hold yourself and others personally accountable. So if you're holding yourself and others personally accountable, guess what you can't do? Social conformity theory. Talk to people, not at them. It encourages two-way clarity instead of social retreat. Talk to people, not at them. Now, under the pink section, powerful. Resisting conformity requires tenacity. So guess what you're going to have to do? Swim upstream. Challenge the current rather than floating along with everybody else. You're going this way. They're going that way. You're going upstream. They're going downstream. And can makes the impossible possible. Liberty from conformity starts with belief. I can get the fuck away from these crazy motherfuckers. I'm out. Then I'm going to go do big shit. Under innovation, this is the fresh behavior greater than that pattern ass conformity. I'm not going to be on social media doing the shit that somebody with my credentials is doing. It's enough conform motherfuckers out there. That's why I said I ain't no thought leader, no podcaster, no expert, no coach, no none of that bullshit. I'm an educator. My degree is a education degree because I'm an educator. So you got to be forward thinking. And that's what we talked about yesterday. And this predicts impact instead of copying group behavior. I did an experiment maybe about 4 years ago. And it happened randomly on Instagram. Instagram, once you see something in the feed, they show it to you multiple times. And Instagram was showing me a business expert, I think an entrepreneur. And they showed like 4 or 5 of them back to back. So I went to all their Instagram pages and I went to all their websites and other social media, and they all had the same format. That parallax thing that I was using way back in 2011 and 12, the pop-ups and everything, the about, all that. You know why they want you to have that shit like that? So you can conform, so they can scroll through your shit quickly and decide if you did everything right. There are no packages on my website. There is not. When we did the new website, Nola said, you're not even putting you on the website now. No pictures, no nothing. There's no about Dr. Donna. You want to know about me? Take your ass over to LinkedIn. None of that. Seems like your mom had a lot of real leader standards for someone who doesn't hold. No, she didn't. She only had one standard, Bridget. The only thing that she said was go to college. That's all. She don't have no fucking standards. Absolutely not. Do not misconstrue it. No. She's a mean, horrible bully, evil person. No, not at all. She don't have no standards. The lady talking about she got a second job when she was a customer at BMF and justified and said, well, I ain't never stole nothing while I was getting high. She missed the you weren't supposed to be getting high. So no, she was a very demanding. And what the reason why she was doing that, let me be clear. Arthur Jethro Evelyn was a genius. Arthur Jethro Evelyn II was a genius. Okay. And the only reason why she demanded that was because she was the black sheep of the family. And she wanted to prove that she was not the black sheep of the family because she is the only one of her siblings that doesn't have a trade or a degree. So she was forcing us to do it so she could prove to him that she wasn't the black sheep of the family. That's the only reason why we had to go to college. So she could go tell daddy that both her kids graduated from college. That's it. It was a lawless state. We didn't have a bedtime. My sister had a co-ed birthday party when she turned 14, 15. No, hell no. No, fuck no, not at all. No, absolutely not. This is the same woman that was doing lines of COKE with her boyfriend. And when I walked in the house and yelled at me and told me to go do my homework. No. Hell no. No. She had a couple standards passed down by her daddy that they, as a silent, the greatest generation raising boomers, they all old heads had them same rules. Clean, that part, There was no strategy. She didn't tell me to get a scholarship. She didn't help me with funding. She never did a fucking homework assignment with me or nothing else. She didn't get no fucking credit for that shit. Hell no. That was the only thing that she said, and that shit was for her. You want to know how I know? You want to know how I know, Bridget? Guess what? Because when I graduated from high school and college, she kept my diplomas. I did not. I graduated from college, high school in 1991, and I graduated from college in 1995. I did not get my high school diploma and my first degree from her until 2009 when she moved to Las Vegas. And now she's been doing pills for the last 25 years. So hell no. No. Hell no. Don't you misread that shit. Oh, fuck no. That ain't who. Hell no. No. She said that one thing and that shit was for her. That's why she kept the damn degrees. And the only reason why she gave it because they weren't going to have room in their new house here. That's the only reason why I got them back. That part. She don't know what I majored in on either one of them. In this business administration is on a high school diploma. And she get gun to her head right now. She can't tell you what my doggone bachelor's degree is in at all. And it's sat at her house. She can't even tell you it's a bachelor's of science. She don't know that part. She just knows it's a bachelor's. So no. Nope. I digress. All right. So innovation, you got to be forward thinking and you got to challenge yourself. Actively disrupts automatic alignment. When you challenge yourself, you can't conform. You can't conform and challenge at the same time. It's impossible to do. Yeah. No, change the narrative. No. Not one homework assignment. Not one homework. Never. She did not sit down with me one day in my life and do a homework assignment. Not one science project, not one math project, not nothing. No, not one time. But she did demand that I come home with good grades because that's what her father did to her. So she just used his playbook. No. So challenge yourself. You can't challenge yourself and conform simultaneously. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Natural. Grow continually. You can't stay socially acceptable and grow continually at the same time. It doesn't work. So it stretches the brain beyond comfort norms. That's what I'm telling you to do every day. I'm telling you, that's why at the end of every live, I ask you, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Because that is showing you if you grew or not. That's what that's saying. Self-reflection in your default mode network instead of daydreaming, mind wandering, and ruminating. And then be flexible. So that maintains your values without rigid conformity. Be flexible. I went to church for 26 years and then I said, yeah, I'm good. Why? Because I'm not learning anything else. There's no progress. There's no measurement of success. We still talking about the babes in Christ. They can't have a different part of the building. Like, what about the non-babes in Christ, the advanced people? Where's that room at? Where's that self-aware, spiritually sound room? Where's that at? Y'all don't have that room? Okay, cool, good. Bye. Okay. You coming back? I'm not. I will not be back. No, don't. Nope. Take me off the email list, the mailing list. I'm never coming back here again. To none of them. I'm good. Thank you. I'll DIY it. That's what I'll do. I'll become spiritual. That part. So Be flexible, and it manages your ability to not be rigid. Because people have had me confused with my high standards telling me that I need to be flexible, but what they were really saying is why you ain't conforming. Why you ain't conforming? Because it's stupid. And even though I didn't know what that was back then and just found out about it a couple days ago, I still wasn't doing the shit. But now that I know this is the reason why you got to do it that way, I'm not. I'm really about to be a rebel with a cause now because that's stupid. So how these work against social conformity? Social conformity functions by prioritizing belonging over action. We belong. We belong. I'm going to put these letters on. I'm an AKA I belong. I'm a soldier. I'll put this uniform on. We belong. We got our colors on. We belong. What church you belong to? I belong to Friendship Baptist Church, Mountain Messiah and my pastor is the Reverend Dr. C.J. Love Jordan, Missionary Baptist Son. Dumb shit. That part. We belong. Where is it at? We belong. What set you from? That's what they saying. Churches do it all the time. They gangs too. Oh, too much? Accepting group norms implicitly. We found out explicit is learning. That's what y'all doing now. But implicit is automatic. My roommate from college is still a member of the same church that I was a member of back in the 90s. She the financial planner for the church now. That part, it's implicit. She gonna die being a member of Craig Memorial Tabernacle right there on Puritan with them red pews. Avoiding discomfort and conflict. Discomfort. What's gonna make me comfortable? What's socially acceptable? Let me just do the socially acceptable thing so I can be accepted. And I don't have any conflict. The above principles instead train your brain to do the following. Prioritize your internal standards. Thermostat versus thermometer. Face discomfort directly. Handle conflict and lead by example. And act with intentional courage. Swimming upstream and taking risk. So in other words, it's this. Social conformity reduces tension by matching the group. And real leadership increases functional tension to grow your capability and your impact. I asked you 2 days ago, did you want to die ordinary or extraordinary? And if you're going to die ordinary, social conformity theory. That's why when you get to people's funerals, they can't really say shit but the regular shit. They was born on this day, to these parents, and they had siblings or they didn't. They got a spouse. They're survived by their da-da-da-da-da. At this point, dogs probably are in the doggone thing. They worked. They were a school teacher, a bus driver, a principal. They were an entrepreneur with multiple business, and they never had a job like my daddy, a free spirit. And now we're going to see them up there or down there. And that's it. It's usually really nice and short. It's nothing extraordinary there. Why? Social conformity theory. They lived a very conformed, status quo, average ass existence. That part. Nothing grand. Nothing grand. And it was set up for you. If you watch the movie Ray, when he was still in Washington, and the short person, the little person, had him outside, they said they already had you fucked up the first day you got here. Terrence Howard getting double scales as leader. And the other lady that was making him help her break her back every night, they took the money, they had it already. Because he's like, you just trying to keep me high. He's like, no, I ain't, bro. Here. Now here go the card. Go ahead and get the hell out of here. Go ahead and be Ray Charles. That part. So your whole shit was already established before you ever got here. Because even if you are older, this was happening when you was a baby. It was happening in the 60s. He was a teenager at most. And it's been here ever since. It's been here ever since. So as we close today, how do you feel right now with this information that you now have? How do you feel? And drink water. Are y'all typing? Because do I need to go to YouTube? Somebody type something. I feel like I have flipped the script. I feel empowered to be me. That's great. Monique is thinking. I felt like I had closure because I could not put my finger on that feeling. And I kept saying, keep being here, keep being here. And I'm telling Nola, you know what? Sometimes when I'm posting, when I'm about to do something, I can't. Because that automatic shut off coming from this. And that's why I compared it. My shit works. So now I'm going to start poking holes in their shit. Because I had a conversation with Chat yesterday too. I said, why do these college professors keep coming up with all these theories? And they're rewarded in the academic system for the theories. It's not their responsibility to do anything about the theories or anything else. Most of the time, these theories are sold to corporations and governments and used against you. And you don't know how to use your brain. So you're just sitting in the system and you instinctively feel like this ain't right, but you can't put your finger on it. So the theories that, excuse me, actually match, that you need to be made aware of, I will tell you what they are. And then I will also take real leadership and say, here, because these theories have just been handed down and handed down and handed down, and no one has questioned them. I feel comfort is everywhere disguised as safety when it's actually a threat. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is. And so none of us have to live this way. And believe it or not, there are a lot of people who don't want to conform. There's a small group of people who actually like social conformity theory. Everybody else is just silently doing it. It's just, we got to go over here. We got to go do this. We got to go do that. Nobody's saying. And then the one family member that say, why the fuck we got to keep doing this? You just always trying to mess something up. You always causing problems. Why you always asking questions? Because one of the 74 principles of real leadership is if you don't know, ask. Questioning everything. I sure am. I sure am. Because if it don't make sense to me, see, you always trying to be logical and shit. That's what this does. This is the logic maker. This mechanism right here works better with logic. It does. That's this whole part work better with logic. Not that little bitty almond. This little, I don't have no almonds. Oh, yes, I do. I'm not about to be going along, get along for this little bitty brain size brain, right? No, not me. It's not happening. Okay. So the two questions that I would normally ask in the past, again, changing again, growing continually, your real leader conversation for your real leader principle and your everyday flex is what survival mode? This social conformity theory? No. Survival mode means that you are threatening to survive, like someone is coming towards you. So this is saying you can have a standard, you just can't have a high standard. You could accomplish stuff in this environment. So if it's socially acceptable to be in a relationship, then it's acceptable. It doesn't mean that relationship is dysfunctional, but not dysfunctional, that it's a domestic situation. Yeah, so it's fear of being rejected by a group. The group is going to make you feel bad. We're all married. Why are you still single? You know, we just fluffy. Why are you trying to lose weight? It's just, I mean, come on now. You know they like them thick. It's just baby ladies playground right here. If I was in a group of women that actually wore wigs, that I had friend groups, all my friends had hair. They might not now because of perimenopause. But if they was like, but you know, they got these wigs that they without alopecia be quiet. I don't want to wear that. Change for the better is halted by the SD. Yes. So as if you try to leave the group. So if you are around a bunch of, let's say everybody in your family is a lawyer, Monique, and they're not. And you come home talking about you're going to be an interior designer. They're going to tell you all the reasons why interior designers don't make no money. You got to deal with crazy ass rich people. It's a long time before you're going to be profitable. How you going to pay your bills and all of that. That's social conformity theory. Come back over here with us because we are lawyers. We are criminal defense lawyers. That's it. We don't even do civil. We're gonna keep getting these, this racism is keeping them down. So we're just gonna help the impoverished. That part. So let's say you decide, like I'll use myself as an example. And if you have to go, y'all have to go. I'll use myself. So when I was coming out of my acrylic nails and finally doing it, because I just did not like my nail tech because I started using my phone and making my own content. Then I had to hear about it from my mother, who always has nails. Why you take your nails off? Because I use my hands all the time. And I like having my natural nails now. It's like after I thought about it, I was like, I don't need acrylic nails no more. So now you got to have acrylic nails. That part. If everybody in your crew got an expensive car and you decide you're going to show up with a Kia Soul, they're like, her regular ass. We ain't driving with you. Did you bring the Kia Soul? So it's this whole thing to keep you conformed. Remember, it's about compliance. Keep you right there stuck. Rich people do it too. If you are one of the trophy wives and you're not getting Botox, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? You ain't got your first butt lift yet? Your facelift? Kris Jenner on face number 3. 4, because she had the original 1 and 3 facelifts. So it's all of that. That's why all the female rappers look exactly alike now. I can't tell none of them apart. You knew who MC Lyte was versus Moni Love versus Queen Latifah, Salt-N-Pepa, and all of the rest of them. You could tell. Foxy Brown, no, you wasn't like, who the hell is that? Which one is that? Now they all look exactly the same. That part. You can't, everybody get the same dreadlock hairstyle, man bun, whatever. They all look alike now. That's social conformity theory. Except for when they walking through the tunnel with them damn fucking Star Trek outfits on, trying to look different. So there. So when you submit your Neuro Rep today on YouTube, you are going to submit your real leader conversation, principal conversation, and your everyday flex in that. Because time-wise, that's 2 more questions. And the more people get on this live, the more it's going to take for that to happen. But the 2 questions that I am going to continue to ask is, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? Because I'm assessing my instruction to you. So the 2 questions today are, what did you learn today? And what did you learn about yourself? And I will update my Real Leader check-in graphic. It's not updated. That's why I'm not going to put it up there, because I don't want to confuse y'all. And the other thing that I will say is that there should only be 3 people not doing the Neuro Rep over here. And that's Trinae, Coach Tiffany, and Allie. All the rest of y'all got 2 Neuro Reps every day. Now, this is not level 4 membership. Stacy is the only one that's over that, and Regina and Nola will be at level 5. So are we clear? You, if I did not say your name, that's Trinae, Tiffany, and Allie, only are doing level 3 Neuro Reps. The rest of y'all are doing both, because this live is not the membership. Okay? So you still have 2 Neuro Reps that are due every day by 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Y'all been here too long to not be doing 2 Neuro Reps a day. Baby, and I would send you back to your wife and your 2 children. First class. I would send you back. I would put a tracker in you so they would always know where you are. Bridget, I was going to ask you about that because I was confused about that yesterday. Yes, Nola came and said that part. Yes. That's a terrible thing to say to somebody. Jared, I learned today that the social conformity theory is stopping us from being our best. My name is Dr. Donna. Haven't been a girl for a long time. I'm 52 and a half years old, perimenopausal, hot flashes, age dried up, all that part. Okay? I am. You clearly are new over here. Don't say anything else or you're going to get blocked. Okay. Okay, don't say nothing else. Okay, sweetie? You disrupting. So be quiet or this channel will be unlisted for you. Don't type anything else or I'm calling security. What did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn today, and what did you learn about yourself? And that's it, and we will be finished, and more finished. I did not think this was going to go this long today at all. God, we ain't got an appointment. And then drink your water for the last time. We will be back on the principle of real leadership tomorrow because we got to get those other 17 done. I learned about myself that the introvert in me hasn't allowed me to shine bright like a diamond that I am. Okay, well, at a minimum, you need to become a social introvert. Because introverts got social conformity too. I just stay at home. I just be by myself. And that's some bullshit too. That's just a different conformity. Monique said, I learned we want to reduce tension by matching and fitting in with the group, and the brain sees social rejection as a threat. If you train it that way, yes, ma'am. Yep. But if you prune that neural pathway, it won't see it that way no more. It feels good being a rebel, being a real leader. Jared said, I learned about myself that I must push through the wanting to fit in to get to my higher self. Yep. You got to ask yourself, do you even want to fit in, Jared? Do you want to fit in? I mean, look at the books that you're reading. Who you fitting in with? Who's your crew? Fit in where? You really don't. So yeah, you ain't got to say that shit no more. I learned it's been studied, and it is an actual theory of peer pressure. Pretty much. That we do nothing about. We didn't know nothing about. All them years people was watching Oprah. Nobody ever talked about social conformity theory. Nobody, not a coach, not nobody, then brought it up and said, we got to do something about this. Nobody ain't saying shit. They using it to their advantage. Bridget said, I learned that social conformity is regular people. And I am actually a social introvert. I have like 2 hours of socializing around people I know or are comfortable around. Yes, ma'am. Use that to your advantage. Capitalize off of them 120 minutes. Jared said it's a little bit of survivor's remorse, even though I got a basic job. Is it a little bit of survivor's remorse, even though I got a basic job? No. What would you be remorsing? And you ain't got no basic job? We need the fucking mail. The fuck is you talking about? The mail? You act like you a manager at Subway. What the hell? You said your job is basic? Commentators talking about football got a basic job because they don't even work every day. You got a high stress physical job. You had to change the belt. You got to do lockout, tag out. Y'all got machinery, injuries. You got fucking chemicals. Shit got to get cleaned. You worked on Christmas. What in the hell? It's cold in that warehouse? Nah, sir. Nah, you fucking remove that sentence. You get that shit out my feed. No. Nope. Delete that. You delete that. Get that. Remove that. Vominos with that bullshit. Nola said, I got pants I'm waiting on right now that's stuck in USPS. That part. Nah. You got, next to hose, you got one of the oldest professions in America. The Pony Express. I learned about myself. I don't socially conform when it comes to outward appearance. Didn't shift until I changed my environment. Did you delete that, Jared? You got to delete that. No, absolutely not, sir. You right up there with the essential sport. Yeah. Yes. No, you right there with the essential workers. The mail didn't stop during COVID. You got to look at what don't stop. There we go. No, sir. Word choice matters. Who the fuck told you you got a basic job? If you got to work 48 to 50 weeks a year, your job ain't basic. That's hard as hell to do with 2 weeks off and weekends. Right. You see what Bridget said? Essential than a motherfucker. Nope, that's the narrative. Ain't nobody like, I don't need no mail. They even got mail carriers delivering Amazon packages now. Y'all part of the supply chain. You the one to make the supply chain work. You the one sorting it. It don't even get where it need to get if it don't get to y'all. It might be repetitive. Nope. You got something else, sir? And for those of you who missed the TikTok live, I'm about to upload it now. Go ahead. The Neuro Rep is already in TikTok. That's why they won't allow them to get rid of USPS. Most important job at the post office. See, this is how I felt, Jared, when y'all was ganging up on me to put my shit on LinkedIn. and the same culprits, Bridget and Nola. It's just me in the reverse instead of you. Same people, like, no, sir. What you ain't gonna say. It's repetitive. That's why I keep changing my jobs every couple of years inside the post office. So basically, you can run the place, is what you're saying. You can run the place. Y'all move the money to Jared. Then if you don't act like you move. Don't ever say that again about your job being basic. Never again, sir. You are banned from saying that part. Okay? So I feel like we've had a very productive live. Went over the amount of time that I thought this was going to take, but it is what it is. As I mentioned, I'm getting ready to upload the new format of the TikTok live. Yes. That part. So here's what I will also say, Jared and Monique, with your questions from making sure. What the psychologists and psychiatrists and thought leaders and experts and podcasters and all of them have done is because the neuroscientists have negativity bias. The whole thing is built on negativity bias. Their whole objective is to create things that are wrong without a real solution to fix it, unless it's attached to a prescription or an appointment with them. That part. So everything that you say, is it like this? It's just a new version of the same old shit. A problem for this to keep you. Was that? And I have imposter syndrome. We don't need to create any more shit that's fucked up about us. We got enough. If we never picked another thing, it's enough that currently is here that's been identified as a problem. Solutions. That's why it's so important for you all to become real leaders, because you will create solutions because you were born to do something extraordinary. So we will start tapping into the group of people that we don't live in caves no more. We got indoor plumbing. We got water. We got fucking air conditioner and everything else. So we don't live like vagabonds. We just still behave like them. That part. Right. And it won't happen, Jared. So the point is that you don't have to keep saying, is this like that? What you can focus on is getting to level 5 so you can start creating your own self-actualization of why you were actually born. And you don't have to wait till you're 50 to start working on it. That's not what's happening. The millennials and the Zs can get there faster than the X's and the boomers and the silent generation. That's what's so important about this work, because somebody got the cure of cancer for cancers inside of them, but they're sitting in a socially conformative theoretical situation. That part. They're there. They're available. All of these things. Global warming. Somebody know how to go to Mars and start setting up humanity over there. But they sitting in some fucking Zoom conference call right now because of conformity bias. Because of this shit right here. That part. That's why we got what we don't want and we need what we don't have. Because of this shit right here. That's what's wrong. Conform. Be ye conformed by the staying stuckness of your mind. First, stupid assness, verse 3. That's the B part of the verse. That part. So no, and no more. So I will not conform to social conformity theory. I will say that this is the truth, the light, and real leadership is the shit, because it actually works. And it frees your mind and the rest will follow. That part. That part. Very few people actually want to blend in. Very few. Everybody, you don't believe me? Just listen to people complaining. Wait for somebody to get interviewed. Even a famous person is going to talk about the con side of the job. Why? Because that's what they're really saying is I got to conform. I got to conform. I got to conform. Watch the AI documentary when they start making them wear suits. He put suits over damn jersey, a suit jacket over jersey. He's like, what the fuck does this have to do with me playing basketball? Conform. Because at the end of it is compliance. And nobody is actually happy with anybody's performance at all because of the conformity. And you can't conform and be the real you at the same time because your personality resides in your prefrontal cortex. So that part. So stop. Now y'all can understand why I was pissed. Now y'all can understand why you didn't think you could do more. And we call that what? Neuro clarity. You're welcome. So I will be putting your Neuro Rep in here. Again, the only people who are not doing Neuro Reps over here are Trinae, Allie, and Tiffany. Okay? Everybody else, you got 2 Neuro Reps. Saying maintain high standards. Chat picked it, not me. You all go off and have a great day. God willing, higher power in the universe. I'm going to be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, same space, different brain t-shirt. Jared said, no more conforming. I am reading Spanish children books now, and I am going to a new level. Galaxsphere, baby. Galaxsphere. Galaxsphere. That part. Because you got 86 billion neurons. We all do. So there's no reason for social conformity. None whatsoever. You got 86 billion neurons. Your objective is to make as many synaptic connections and neural pathways that are possible for you until the day after you're no longer here. That is your objective. Give me 1 second. Okay. I want to make sure this idiot is gone. Okay, cool. Got it. Roger that. Let's go. All right. So if you did not see this morning's live for TikTok, I think it's 19 minutes, and I'm only saying that because you might be coming back to rewatch this. I don't know why you would, but you need to go over there and you need to watch it. It will be public. Like I said, your Neuro Rep for TikTok is already there. It's going to take me a couple minutes. I probably got to go pee and shower first, and then I'm come back and do this Neuro Rep. So you're going to not do this Neuro Rep that quick because we've been here too long. But it will be up within the next 30 minutes over here. TikTok one is already there. All right. Y'all go off and have a brain-tastic day. No, Jared. Okay, one more thing. One more thing. I get a bad rap. I do. I get messages. I don't want to get in trouble. I want to make sure I ain't getting it. Don't look at it like that. Okay? Don't look at it this way. I care enough to cuss y'all out. You understand what I'm saying? You know how much care you got to have for somebody to demand more for them? It's just that part. And if you think about it, if I get to that level, what is it that wasn't done? Do you understand what I'm saying? So Nola will say that. And as long as you are, and this is not conformity, it's when you're trying to stay stuck. That's when I go ham and hamburger. When you're trying to conform, that part. But Monique, you messaged me and I answered your question. Daisy, I was speaking in a calm voice. Got it. I understand now, Jared. Yeah. But you missed the front part. I did that on purpose. Yeah. Yes, that's what Stacy said. Because Stacy is an educator too. And if Regina wasn't just listening, she would say the same thing. So it is 7 level. I know exactly what I'm doing. But I'm saying this, you're afraid. So we got to pull that out of you. That's why people are like, I should stop cursing. And I'm like, this thing is hardwired. Sometimes you have to get to the thing. Chemotherapy is bad. It got to get the cancer out. It's not nice. It's getting poison out of you. So what I'm saying is, I'm like, you're better than this. You're better than this. And if someone is just driving past and hears the tone, they're not listening to the words. I'm saying you got greatness inside of you. You got 86 billion neurons and you over here being regular, degular, schmegular. And that's unacceptable as a real leader. That's what I'm saying. Social conformity theory had me thinking that people couldn't get to it, but it was don't get to it. So it's not that. If anytime you are saying, Doc, I want questions. If you don't know, ask. Hey, did I do this right? I'm confused about this. Daisy sent messages. I got solutions, but I'm not about to be, because you got to remember, I helped a bunch of people stay stuck. They got from no standards to the standard that they was willing to stay at, and then they did not want to go higher because of social conformity theory. So what I had to do was put my foot down and keep it down and say, nah, if you're not going to be extraordinary, get the fuck away from me. That's what that was. Do you want to be a bad motherfucker? Then this is what it takes. Just think of Debbie Allen when Fame used to come on. You're going to work hard and sweat, neurological sweat. That's what's taking place. So ask me a question and I'm going to answer it for you. If I have the answer. If I don't, I'm saying, shit, I don't know. Or I'm going to tell you to go chat it. If I do know, I might tell you to go chat it just so you get the neurological nucleus accumbens reward loop codes from getting the answer yourself. So that's not what's happening. I don't want to be done with anybody. But what the fuck I'm not going to do is stay in social conformity theory, keeping you company, being regular. So that's what yesterday was. It was a fork in the road, line in the sand for me to now find out about this. So I'm grateful. I told y'all I was grateful for that because anger means something needs to change. And if I wasn't angry, then I wouldn't have been in my class paying attention because they say a bunch of shit. I wouldn't have paid attention to this and said, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? And I've been here already. It's my third time. 3 times is a trend. That means that shit got to end. So I wouldn't have had my nuts drop. I wouldn't have had the kahunas to say, we ain't doing none of that shit no more. This is the standard. Because for 52 years, people been saying that might be the standard for you. But if you're going to be over here with us, you getting jumped in over here with the regular gang. I'm good. Keep that shit. So it was me finally saying, I am the standard by which excellence is measured. And if you going to be near me, having any access to me, you going to be a bad motherfucker too. Or go away. That's basically what was happening. Because I'm not, for what? For conformity? For this. Because there's no logical reason for you not to be a bad motherfucker. None. Not one. At all. Other than this. And that's illogical. This is emotional regulation right here. This is stupid. I don't care when they made this motherfucker. It don't work. Not for extraordinary shit. So I understand your perspective, Jared, but I'm saying you need to go watch it because it tells you what happens in the brain. I'm putting it on YouTube too, but it tells you what happens in the brain before you open your mouth and say, I quit. What takes place neurologically? Because you think by the time you say, I quit, that's when you quit. But that's not when it happened. It happened up here long before you ever said it out your mouth. That's why it's so important. That's why I had to make the switch on TikTok, because now you're going to understand what's happening up here all the time. That part. I ain't got to be on TikTok entertaining and being a therapist and answering people's questions and all that. I'm going to just have you thinking about your brain all day long. That part. Because that's disruptive as shit. And that's what I do. So I understand what you said, but just go back and watch the TikTok live. And it'll be on YouTube too. So you can watch it either way and understand it. But that is the new format. I did cut off the part about the rules. That's not necessary for the replay. I will keep saying those rules until we get it. All right, y'all go off because I really got to pee and it's now about to be 7:15 and that part. But it was effective. And what you will find is that when you are changing, you got to have a powwow, come together. Yes, with no pressure. Now, it ain't that extraordinary. No, it's fine. Okay, you all are doing the work now. Now you don't have, and no excuses, no excuse line or nothing else. Because now you know what the hell was stopping you. Okay, go off and do great things today. Take care. Adios.